Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction, instant reaction to Chelsea 5, Ajax Amsterdam 1 in the UEFA Champions League. Chelsea getting an absolutely ginormous win. Good for goal difference. Could have been more. Would have been nice if it was more. But hey, here we are. We can't complain at 5 goals. What a game. Obviously, a red card early on for Ajax changes a lot. We'll talk about everything in in a lot of detail. We'll discuss everything. Of course, goals left, right, and centre. Estevao, just one goal, just the one penalty, but oh my God, what a performance, what a player. If that overhead kick goes in, Gittins getting some praise as well. We'll talk about that as well. Jamie Gittins, of course, getting one of his starts today. I get through a couple of your comments already. Obviously, if you guys want to get active, talk to me. I do these post-match streams often alone nowadays just because it's easier and I get them done quicker. So, I want to interact with you guys. I want to interact. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to go back and forth. And please elaborate as much as you want. Don't keep yourself short. Elaborate your points. And we can have a nice little reaction after a wonderful Champions League win. We started off with Max, who says, big up, good win for the kids, from the kids. Cleaned up good. Gittins needs to start more after that display. Hato also very good. Yeah, Gittins had a... I'm not quite sure if I quite agree with quite the amount of praise and positivity I've seen for Jamie Gittins, to be honest. But yeah, he was decent. He was decent. I'm not going to complain about it at all. And Hato, yeah, again, it was obviously because Ajax had a man sent off so early. It was kind of difficult to judge our defenders, but honestly, when there was something to do for Hato, he did really well. So yeah, big up. Daniel says, finally, we finished with 11 men on the pitch and not getting red carded. Yes, very good. To be fair, we did against Liverpool. Just then, we had our manager sent off. Gittins shining. Love the kid. Goals will come. Well, I hope you're right, Couture Criminal. I truly hope you are right. Dylan says, another game with a red card, but at least it was for Ajax this time. A big window, a massive win. Huge for our Champions League. Obviously, league phase table as well. It's weird, isn't it? Like, I don't know, obviously, because we weren't in the Champions League the last couple of years, and the Conference League just felt different with us just expecting to walk every game. The whole league system, looking at a points table, I still can't really get on board with it, if I'm being totally honest. I just think it's so intrinsically unfair. Like, I just can't really understand how you can only play 6 teams, or 8 teams, sorry, but be in a table of 36 teams that have all played 8 different teams. And like teams like Ajax or Dortmund or teams like that, Galatasaray, such a huge difference you play them at home or away. It's just, I just think, like, obviously for us, it's okay. We're one of the big teams. Like, we should always make it through. We're good enough to achieve that when we're in the competition. But for the teams like Ajax, man, it makes such a difference whether they get to play everybody home and away or not. But anyways, enough waffle about that. Max says friendly vibes. It was a little bit, but you know, they obviously got a man sent off after 17 minutes and we scored directly after that. So that obviously killed the game off. And we were just on it today. Like, we were not asleep. Like, I'm not saying we had the best performance in the world. We really didn't. But we were still on it. We were concentrated. We were willing to fight. Like when Weghorst early on in the game had the little coming together with Lavia and then with Caicedo, we bullied him for the next 50 minutes straight. Like, we made him bleed. We absolutely murdered the guy. Obviously, he still scored from the penalty spot, but otherwise, we absolutely took him apart. So there you go. Gittins was so good tonight, JC says. I believe he slowly got his confidence back. Man of the match for me. Man of the match. I don't know if I missed too much of Gittins. To me, there was a lot of, you take your man on, you put a ball across, but sometimes he then chose, does he shoot, does he pass it, the wrong decision, and sometimes it felt like dribbling for the dribble's sake, and then in the end just running into a wall of opposition and laying it off, but just a little late. But maybe I'm being harsh. Obviously, he set up the penalty that Enzo won, so we can't be critical. I'll look at the stats. I'll feel about it a little bit more after, obviously, you know, I'm talking myself through it. But again, guys, thank you, JC, by the way, for, you know, elaborating a little bit. But again, all of you guys can go into more detail, especially if you disagree with what I think, or if you know, want to just, I don't know, teach me. Teach me a better opinion. You know, sometimes that can be possible. Shocked we didn't score more second half. In a way, I am too. On the other hand, I'm like, are you surprised? Like, we took Enzo Fernandez off. We then took Caicedo off. We took Guiu off. Like, I know George scored, but George by the end was playing right wing and Estevao was up front. You know what I mean? up front, it just makes a difference whether we have a striker or not. I think if Guiu stayed on, we probably would have scored another 2 or 3. But obviously the game was done, and it was just about resting, conserving energy. It was also very important. But, for the goal difference in the league phase, I think if we had won by 6 goals, we would have gone into the top 8, which obviously after 3 games isn't that relevant, but, always nice to be where you want to end up earlier already. Max says, I think we can agree Tosin was bad, though, with or without 10-man. Well, yes. But honestly, I didn't see him once again after he gave the penalty away, for being totally honest with you. So, he obviously gave the penalty away. Shouldn't have happened. And then was subbed off at halftime. Do you know what I mean? So, there you go. Ajax was awful. What a downfall for them. Yeah, they really weren't great, were they? It's a shame Ajax not what they used to be. Yeah. Unfortunately, only Chelsea fans. I couldn't believe it when I saw the stats. Ajax had 2 attempts and 1 on target to our 19 attempts and 9 on target. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of crazy. Champions League is Madrid, Barca, Bayern, and English teams maybe Inter. Oh, I don't think Inter there. I mean, Inter, I know they made the Champions League final last year, but just don't really buy it, especially without Inzaghi. Bayern look a real threat. Honestly, at the moment, Barca, if they don't fix up the way they defend, I don't think there'll be a problem for any of the top teams in the later rounds. Like, obviously, they're really good and their attack is scary, but any top team, I think, takes them apart, if I'm being honest, and I think we can. I'm not sure whether we'll beat them, but I don't think we'll lose to Barca. But hey, maybe I'm just optimistic, right? Who knows? But yeah, I think Madrid, Bayern, Arsenal, City, maybe us. I think the big favourite. Obviously, Liverpool, if they get their shit together by the end of the season. Ajax was sliding across the lawn and only got 1 red. Yeah, it's true. They could have easily got more. Yeah, I forgot PSG. Yeah, very fair. He literally created 5 chances. What more do you ask from a winger? Well, okay. Yeah. No, he did create 5 chances. I'm not saying he was bad either. I'm just not sure if I would pick him out as the best player. For me, that was very clearly Estevao, if I'm being perfectly honest, in terms of the one that stood out most, the one that commanded the game most, in terms of that had the most standout moments, for me at least. Comparing to his previous matches, though, is valid, but obviously the game just happened this way. I mean, like, it wasn't the Prem team that were parking the bus like crazy and were really good at parking the bus after being a man down. It's a team that's usually plays on the front foot. They take a man off, or they have a man sent off, then they go more defensive, but they're not really good at defending. There you go. Lavia 50% at fault for that penalty, though. Was he? I'll need to look at it again, but if I'm honest, I think Tosin just needs to not lunge for that tackle, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, maybe Lavia should do better. I agree, Lavia should have done a lot better too. Do you mean specifically for the penalty, Jay-Z, or just in general? Getting showed signs today, this is what I agree with. What a win. Yes, absolutely massive, Ricky. Thank you for your comment. Mokio, Bas, and Lucas were the only decent Ajax players. Far cry from De Ligt, De Jong, CF, and Van der Beek, though. Absolutely. I think about not long before that, you had people like Rafael van der Vaart, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, like so many absolutely banging players. There you go. I agree, Estevao was really good too, but sometimes I feel he's trying too hard. I mean, he's 18. Wouldn't you try a bit too hard if you were 18 playing Champions League football? I mean, like, it's one of those, and he knew, because he stayed on the pitch for as long as he did, he knew he ain't going to start on the weekend. So, he wanted to make the most out of it, I suppose. Lavia lost the ball to Weghorst. I agree for the penalty. Okay, he lost the ball. Okay. I thought you meant in terms of letting the guy get through for Tosin to make the challenge in the end. But yeah, there you go. Fair enough. Tosin asked the Bozo Gene, shaking my head. Yeah, he does a little bit, doesn't he? Like, it's a different kind of Bozo Gene, I would say. But he's done it a fair few times this season, even earlier in the season before he got injured. When we get hit on the break and he has to do one-on-one defending, my God. You saw it even today. Ajax had one of these moments early in the game, but I think it was Fofana that was defending the guy. Or was it Lavia? I think it was Fofana. And he was just defending the one-on-one so well in comparison to what usually Tosin does in those situations. So yeah, Tosin certainly has those issues, but that's what footballers are. You know what I mean? Like, I know obviously at the top teams, we want the perfect players, but you have players with weaknesses and strengths, and Tosin has a lot of strengths. He's very strong in the air. He's a fantastic commander. He's a good passer of the ball, but he has a few weaknesses, just like most of our other defenders have some strength and some weaknesses. And that's why it's frustrating when we can't, mix the best together. But for example, Colwell and Tosin work quite well together. I think Tosin and Fofana could work quite well together, but Tosin and Chalobah doesn't work that well together. Not for me anyway. Lavia should have done better on the penalty. Fair enough. Marc Guiu scoring was crucial for future as we need him a lot later in the season. Absolutely, Desmond. There's Gyal. Yeah, sorry. One football rated Estevao is the lowest rated Chelsea player today. Lol, really? Okay, well, we'll take a look at what football did. Did anyone think Jorgensen would save that? Honestly, the guy is a hologram. Oh man, I felt the way the game was going. It felt like Ajax were going to miss, and obviously he had such a strong arm on it. And don't take this the way like Ty from AFTV sounds. But if that was a dry game, I think he actually probably saves that. But because it's obviously so wet, it just slips through him. Because he had his arm on it, but just not enough. And because everything's so wet, it just slips through. But it's Jorgensen, isn't it? Like, do you really expect him to save it? Honestly, I feel bad, man. Like, he was a good keeper at Villarreal, and now he's just spent the season and a half on the bench, and he's just turned into utter dross now. Like, he's so poor, isn't he? My God. But let's get into the lineup. Let's talk about that. I think we've waffled for a hot minute there already. Let's get into that. Let me sure it looks all nice on the screen. There you go. This is the lineup that we started with. Moises Caicedo essentially starting as the right back, inverting into midfield. Very interestingly, Malagusto not in the squad today. I'm not sure if we've heard anything potentially since. Why or why not? He was, not in the squad, but of course he's suspended against Sunderland on the weekend already due to his, red card or sending off against Nottingham Forest on the weekend. So I was surprised that he was left out. Reece James made sense. Essentially, like I say, a 3-4-1, 3-2-4-1. Hato as the left centre-back, left back out of possession. Tosin and Fofana, the centre-backs. Caicedo inviting into midfield from right back next to Lavia. Enzo Fernandez and Buonanotte being the 10s. Estevao on the right. Jamie Gitters on the left. Marc Guiu up front. Very, very happy that Guiu started. Extremely happy that Guiu scored. And also, in a way, like as much as I think we would have maybe done a little bit better in the second half had he stayed on, I think it's a good sign that he took him off at halftime. Now, on the one hand, you could say maybe just giving George a chance. But the fact that then George spent the majority of the second half on the wing makes me pretty confident that the reason Guiu was taken off is because he's going to start again on Saturday. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I really, really hope for that. Obviously, João Pedro would have had the week off, so he should have had a bit of a rest. So he should presumably start in the number 10 role. Guiu up front. I think we should be a good team, and Sunderland will be difficult on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. But in general, what did you guys make of the team, of the lineup that we went with? I saw quite a few people like kind of complaining, like saying, why we're playing the second string 11 in the Champions League. And I'm like, I get it, but realistically, Reece was never going to start. We just swapped Gittins for Garnacho. That makes no difference. João Pedro was actually suspended today. So even though we arguably would have or should have rotated him for rest anyway, he was suspended. So Marc Guiu kind of had to start, or Tyrique George up front. Estevao, we moan when he doesn't start in the Prem. Then you had Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez in the team. So the only really one is kind of Buonanotte, essentially, well, not directly being in the team for João Pedro, but kind of indirectly, I suppose, compared to what we hopefully see on Saturday against Sunderland. Hato for Cucurella, that's the main one. But the other two, Tosin and Fofana, it's not exactly a B11, is it? Like, Jorgensen, okay. But I was surprised that so many people were quite so unhappy. But yeah, imagine that bicycle kick went in. Oh my God, I would have lost my marbles is what I would have done. I would have absolutely lost my marbles. Didn't think we really needed Caicedo today. Yeah, maybe not, but it was a real must-win game, It was a real must-win game. If we didn't win that today, we could have been in real big trouble in the Champions League. And we didn't want to be in real big trouble. So I get going for it, and obviously he only played 45 minutes on the weekend as well. Don't forget he didn't start, and obviously he came off today after 50 minutes as well. So there you go. Casey said think Gusto is ill. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but presumably, or that makes sense to me anyway. Let's put it that way. Also, when George came on, I feel like Estevao switched to central position instead of George on the number 9 position. Yeah, absolutely. Not the first couple of minutes because George literally scored from the central areas, but very soon after. And honestly, I thought it was much better. I thought George was much better on the right, and I thought Estevao was still dangerous in the middle, which George just wasn't. We won 5-1. You really can't complain. Exactly. Team was solid. This Ajax team is very, very bad. Ajax fans expected this exact result. There you go, yeah. I mean, Ajax lost 4-0 to Marseille only a few weeks ago. If you lose 4-0 to Marseille, I'm not really sure you're going to get much out of Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, if I'm being honest. But on top of that, obviously, having a man sent off after 70 minutes isn't exactly going to help. It isn't exactly going to help. Only Chelsea fan says, our lineup was great. I'm glad Agaffa didn't put George up front from the start. Oh, I'm very glad about that too. Very, very glad. I'm very, very happy. What was the cut for direct qualification again? Oh, for direct qualification, I think it was 15 points, but not everyone with 15 points got through. So goal difference matters as well. That's why I would have liked a couple more goals, but there you go. I'm still not happy with the goalkeeping options. Left wing, not good enough. Buonanotte, pointless. Tosin is B team. I mean, Tosin is maybe B team in terms of what we think of as quality, but Tosin started a lot of games. Last season. You know, it is what it is. Facundo looks like a good deadline day signing. Does he? I don't know, man. I'm not sold. Like he's decent. He's decent. But Jamie Gittins won Man of the Match award. Maybe I'm the weirdo then. Sorry. A lot of mans have Jamie. You know, I try not to have an agenda. I try really hard, guys. I really do. But seemingly I don't, because supposedly I got Man of the Match, even though, you know, it happens sometimes that weird players get the Man of the Match. But yeah, Buonanotte, I don't know. I'm not like as excited as you seemingly are about him. Like, I'm not saying he's bad. He only cost 2 million on a loan fee. But it's a loan, you know. He's not really good enough to really fill in for Cole Palmer. But, you know, he's good technically, solid little player, but he lacks that little edge, a little bit of quality, I would say. But I don't want to be negative either. I just feel like a couple of people in the chat have picked out those specific players that I didn't think were that amazing. Can anyone explain why Ajax fans were so pissed about the sub the manager made after they got a red? Well, JC, I can't, obviously. But what I can tell you is what my commentator on German Sky said. And he said that supposedly the Ajax fans have had a bit of an issue with substitutions by their manager, Johnny Heitinga. Some of you guys will remember him as a Dutch midfielder. I think pretty sure also playing for Ajax, maybe other teams, but there you go. Supposedly Ajax fans have had issues with him making kind of defensive substitutions in losing positions already previously. Now, obviously, today they had a man sent off, so I also felt a little bit like it was maybe a bit of an overreaction, being 1-0 down and a man down at Chelsea, and like you don't want to get slapped, especially when goal difference actually does matter and it's not just completely irrelevant. I can kind of see it, you know what I mean? But yeah, supposedly that's why they were quiet. So Andre says, solid game. Gluck is their most creative player. Yeah, he is. Tosin, the only red flag tonight, and I think he started next game because of set pieces. I think red flag is a little bit of a stretch, guys, if I'm being honest. But I see where you're coming from, though, Ashraf. And yeah, he will probably start again on Sunday. And that's probably why it was Saturday. I keep thinking we play Sunday. And that's probably why he got subbed off at halftime today as well, being replaced by Chalobah. Chalobah came on for him. But yeah, obviously Sunderland love a long throw, love a set piece. So yeah, Tosin being our tallest defender, I'm pretty sure will probably be Tosin and Chalobah, because Kilcarea will definitely be in the team. So therefore, we already have a very short centre-back. So it will probably be Tosin and Chalobah, to be honest. I mean, maybe Fofana again, but Fofana playing a whole 90 today, I doubt it. Makia was a defensive move, which was why they were upset with that substitution. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, being a man down, you kind of get it, I feel like. You kind of get it. But there you go. Now, let's open FOTMob, guys. Let's see what the stats say. In terms of the overall stats and a few of the individuals we will take a look at as well. A total of, well, of course, we won 5-1. They had a man sent off after 15 minutes. Weghorst initially, or for a short period of time, made it 2-1 from the penalty spot that Tosin gave away. We talked about the goal scorers, Marc Guiu, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez from one penalty, Estevao from the other penalty, and Tyrique George just after halftime. 66% possession, 3.45 XG, or 5.4 XG, I should say. A lot of XG. Honestly, we could have scored more. We could have easily scored 7 or 8. Estevao could have had a hat-trick easily, and that's not even including his overhead kick, if I'm being honest. Guiu maybe could have had one more as well. But there you go. You know, you can't complain. Still outscored our XG, so you'll take it. 22 shots, 10 of them on target, 5 big chances. Still missed 2 big chances. I wonder which ones exactly they were. I really missed that FOTMob kind of flopped on their own idea of getting physical stats of running distance and sprint meters, etc. They had this for literally 2 match days at the beginning of the season, and now they got rid of it again. I have no idea why, what their issues are. But there you go. I mean, we dominated in every sense of the word. Again, because they had a man sent off early, fair enough. But even still, we dominated them from top to bottom. Obviously, defensively, they will have had a lot more because we had a lot more attacking and possession. But yeah, let's look at the lineup in terms of the individuals. Obviously, not much to talk about with Jurgensen. Moises Caicedo, yet another goal. Obviously deflected this time, but the kind of the audacity from him to even choose to shoot from there. And honestly, I think this kind of goal is where credit has to go to the fans, to the crowd, actually. Because if the crowd doesn't urge him to shoot by shouting shoot all in unison, I don't think he shoots. I don't think he goes for it. So There you go. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant, as he always is, obviously. Was he 100% needed? Maybe not, but got himself a goal. Big goal as well, making it 2-0 at the time. Only misplaced 2 passes. You know what you're going to get with Moises Caicedo. Literally nothing to do defensively. Didn't even win a ground duel, so that's not normal for Moises, but tells you how the game went. On Wesley Fofana, got an assist. Nice header across for Marc Guiu's goal. On that note, just quickly, JC said, I thought Fofana had a cramp maybe towards the end of the match. Hope he's well. Can't afford to lose a centre-back anymore. Yeah, I felt like that a little bit too, and that's why I was also a little bit surprised why we made the 5th substitution quite so early. Obviously, it was wonderful that Reggie Walsh got so many minutes just having turned 17 2 days ago. Proper nice birthday present coming on for Moises Caicedo. No, coming on for Enzo Fernandez. No, he came off at half-time. Who did Reggie come on for? Lavia, of course. Sorry. But yeah, it might be with Fofana, but he's not going to start on the weekend anyway, isn't he? So, and maybe he's back. He's fine after that. I didn't think it was a penalty. The decision against Hato made the penalty was given away by Tosin, not by Hato, bro. That was not Hato. I actually thought we should have had a penalty at the very, very end when Estevao was taken down, but the ball never went out of play, and it just felt like I kind of just forgot about it. It looked like a stone wall penalty to me as well. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. Don't we play Karabakh first? I think so. You think we make the top 8? Rest of our Champions League fixtures look favourable. We'll look at that again later. We'll look at that a little bit later, absolutely. I will highlight this and I will come back to it later. Jamie Giddens is the youngest player to record since 03-04 to create 5+ chances in a Champions League match. Fair enough. What? Since the... but... okay, the record was previously held by Hazard, but he's on record since 2004. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Big ups. Then, if that's the case, that's a good stand. Big ups to him. Yeah, why was that open? Like I say, that's what I want to know. I like to see Hatter running down the wing. He looks like he can dribble a bit. Mostly, I'm just surprised or impressed by how fast he is. But yeah, there you go. Where's Fofana? I thought he had a good game today. Completed the most passes as well. Misplaced 4 still, but got an assist, nice assist as well. Obviously, maybe a cramp at the end, which wouldn't be nice. But I also got a free kick given against him when he just outleaped Weghorst by honestly 3 feet. Literally, he touched him on the top of his head with his hand without raising his hands up. No idea how he got given a foul against him, but there you go. Tosin obviously spoke about in terms of the manager. By the way, JC, I think it was JC that keeps talking about it in the chat, and nothing wrong with you, but Sofa Score giving him the lowest, no, not Sofa Score, One Football, you said. The lowest score. He has got the highest score. So make of that what you will. But yeah, there you go. Tosin, obviously, Hato did a good job. Let's look at some stats. Very good passing accuracy. Can't complain with that. Not really gonna complain too much about what he's doing in the offensively, but 11 passes into the final third, you can't complain with that. 3 tackles, 3 clearances, 6 recoveries. Got dribble pass twice, but still 3 out of 6 ground duels, 3 out of 4 aerial duels. You'll take it. You'll absolutely take it. Enzo Fernandez with a goal, of course, from the penalty spot, given the second penalty to Estevao, which was obviously kind of nice as well. Good to have him back, obviously, after missing the last game, so that's very good. I hope he's fit for the weekend. Played a good game, though. Only misplaced 2 passes. Obviously, scored this goal, scored this penalty, 2 out of 2 long balls, 3 out of 6 ground duels. You'll take it. You'll absolutely take it. Jamie Giddens. Now let's look at him. Created the most chance in a match. Like, obviously, the chat said 5 chances created. Only misplaced 2 passes as well. Expected goals, very, very little. Expected assists, very nice, 0.47. Very nice. Can't complain with that. Obviously, we had that 1 shot on target. 3 out of 6 successful dribbles is decent. I'll take that, absolutely. 2 out of 5 crosses. Some of these were good as well. 4 out of 9 ground duels. You'll take 2. What else can we see here? Where's their chances created not down here? This is just up here. Oh, there it is. There's 5 chances created. There it was. But yeah, good game. And clearly, some people rated him. And again, I didn't think it was bad by any means. I thought it was good. I just thought it wasn't necessarily stand out for me to speak about him so much, but there you go. I'm so confident in our run of form. I believe we could easily take advantage of Barca's defensive problems easily. But let's see who's fit by then. Especially if we've got their lap by then, I think we can absolutely kill them. I don't trust One Football either. I just find it funny. They gave George the highest rating, shows their level. Well, maybe also give them a little bit of time to kind of adapt or whatever you want to maybe call it in terms of usually often stream stats, stats of games are often adapted a little bit later on. But there you go. Champions League quality is so poor. Ajax reminded me of Conference League. But it's how it goes, right? Like Benfica, obviously yesterday, for example, they lost 3-0 to Newcastle. In the first game of the season, they lost 3-2 to Karabakh after being 2-0 up. But then you look, for example, at Eintracht Frankfurt, who today lost 5-1 to Liverpool at home. Even though they went 1-0 up, Frankfurt did. Frankfurt have had 3 games in the Champions League like we have, obviously. Every single game's finished 5-1. Twice they lost 5-1, and once they won 5-1. Against Atletico Madrid and against Liverpool, they lost 5-1, and against Galatasaray, they won 5-1. So it's absolutely mental. While you see, who did Galatasaray beat today? That was maybe slightly surprising that they beat them quite as convincingly as they did. But there you go. We played better teams in the Conference League than Ajax, absolutely. But not at this stage, That's the big difference between league phase and latter stages. But yeah, Ajax not having a good season at the moment, and obviously in general struggling for a fair few years already now. So there you go. I don't think we should look further than our next game. We're still inconsistent. Sunderland is all we should be thinking about step by step. I completely agree with you there, actually, Max. I 100% agree. I'm glad that, JC is so confident in our form, but with the injuries we have, with the amount that we need to rotate, it's not always going to be that easy. Sunderland is always a tough game. The long throws, the set pieces, it will need a moment of magic. Maybe we can get one from a set piece ourselves, maybe a Caicedo scream or something. It's going to be a tricky one for sure, and it's going to be huge if we get the 3 points. Absolutely huge. Let's quickly just look at Estevao and Guiu as well before we look at a few other things. Estevao lost the most duels in the match. Well, there you go. It's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, a lot of shots, very involved, only misplaced 3 passes, created 2 chances, had 1.5 expected goals, obviously one of them being a penalty. Not less so with expected assists. There you go. 3 out of 8 shots on target. Could be better, but I like that he's going for shots. 2 out of 6 dribbles, very similar to Gittins, I guess. 2 out of 10 crosses. Could be more, but what I like so much and what I find so impressive is that an 18-year-old, and to be fair, a lot of our players are, extremely young. But Estevao is 18 and has literally just come here from another country. And I know he's the big guy and everything, and he's obviously a generational talent, but he's so commanding. And but I mean this in the best way possible. Like, genuinely, I mean this in the very, very best way possible. Think about it, and Joe Cole spoke about this at one point a few weeks ago. The best way to tell how good Estevao is that the team constantly look for him. Like, they purposely look for Estevao to give him the ball. Think back to times like when Mudryk was fresh to the club, and we had games where we were like, why is Cucurella never passing it to Mudryk? We had the same with Sancho at times. We had the same with Tyrique George in some games. And maybe it's a little bit of a left-wing situation for our team, the way we play as well. Maybe. But Estevao, you don't have that. Estevao, every time he plays, he gets the ball. They give him the ball. They let him try. They let him fail. They let him go again. He just works so hard and he's so good. It's just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And like EPL turf makes a fantastic start. Estevao played 2 full seasons at Brazilian League, 80+ game starts. It helped him a lot. Yeah, it really did. And the Brazilian League, obviously of the quality, it's not of the same level. But we learned at the Club World Cup, Flamengo beat us. Wait, Fluminense? I always mix them up. Fluminense, I think it was actually. Yeah. And Flamengo we beat. Because Flamengo is where Thiago Silva is at, right? We beat those guys in the semis. And Palmeiras, obviously. They're good teams. Like, don't get me wrong, they're good teams. But it's not the same as Europe. It's not the same as Europe, let alone is it the same as the Premier League. So for Estevao to fit in the way he is, unbelievable. Genuinely unbelievable players. Ridiculous. Let me see if I missed a couple of messages in the chat here. This week in the Champions League, it's been absolutely crazy. It really has. Like the 2-7 from Leverkusen against PSG, 6-2 by Eindhoven against Napoli. Wow. I expect us to go on a run until we face Barca, and even then I wanted that as well, of course. Our team on paper looks so average today, except midfield. Yep, it did. All the results are over. Very good. Estevao is man of the match. He has invisible drop off the shoulder and just runs straight past players in the most efficient way. Yep, absolutely. What else am I seeing? Ajax doubled up on him even with 10 men at times. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Liverpool doubled on him to see how that worked out. Well, there you go. He played same way for Palmeiras. Their league is very intense for sure. I watched him there. Yeah, there you go. Too many red cards is ruining Champions League. It is a bit of an issue. No, Flamengo beat us. Okay, I mixed them up. Oh, yeah, and Thiago Silva plays for Fluminense. There you go. Impressed by Gittins today. Best Chelsea game for him so far. I agree with that. Just lastly, in terms of the individuals we're looking at, Marc Guiu. Obviously, he only played the first half, but got a goal. He only played 3 passes, but he got all of those off. He only had 6 touches. It didn't feel like that at all. Did it feel like that to you guys? That is actually crazy. Sorry, I need to just put this in my group chat because this needs to be talked about. But I'm glad to see some of you guys that have followed my streams for enough time. Some of you will know Ollie. Ollie is also surprised that Jamie Gittins won man of the match. So, at least I'm not the only one. Makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, Guiu, I'm surprised at that. 6 touches, but a goal. So, you'll take that. Why did Maresca remove Guiu by the end of halftime? Well, initially, I was thinking and hoping that maybe it's because he's going to start again on Saturday. Now, after seeing that he only had 6 touches, I'm thinking maybe Maresca wanted the striker to be involved more. Now I'm a little bit less sure. But I still think it was essentially to be ready and fit for Saturday. The only sad thing about tonight Champions League matches is Wirtz getting goal contribution. I wanted to flop so bad. There you go. I thought he was a bully to Ajax defenders, as did I, but obviously that doesn't let you touch the ball. Quickest VAR screen check today. Ref took 1 look and he was okay. Strange game. Would think it was an aggressive affair, but it wasn't. No, it wasn't an aggressive affair. It was just a little bit wild, wasn't it? But yeah, it was a clear red card, honestly. When I first saw it, I was like, oof. Surely that's a red by the rules the way they are. Like you say, Max, it literally looked at the screen for like half a second. I was like, okay, that's a red card. But yeah, there you go. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Marc Guiu, is he the next Erling Haaland? 6 touches and the goal. I'll take it. If you only need 6 touches for a goal, imagine how many goals you'll get on another day. So weird that man of the match wasn't Estevao, but all right. I agree. Sorry, I need to use punctuation. I would appreciate it, but I appreciate your comments regardless. Now, let me have a look on the old Twitter. I still prefer to call it Twitter than X. I can't even lie. Let's go through some of the quotes. Let's go to Dodgers because he usually comes out with all the quotes to talk about. So let's do that. Let me change the screen and bring up Twitter here for you so you can all see it. Marc Guiu on Instagram, already active. Keep pushing forward. Thanks, God. Very good. Enzo Maresca on 3 teenagers scoring. Very proud. It's a special night for the club for 3 young players. Guiu already scored 5 or 6 times last year. Ty already scored in the Premier League. It was a special night for these young players and the club. Enzo Maresca on using young players. It's a strategy of the club. We have so many young players. Last season, we were the youngest squad in the history of the Premier League, and this season we continue the same way. We made 10 changes tonight. And it's not easy, but we have to do that. Otherwise, they are going to struggle. Tonight was good because we could rotate players, especially with the red card. Yeah, it was definitely useful. Enzo Maresca on Chelsea's momentum and confidence. We need to continue on that, knowing that Sunderland is a tough game. We are going to try and prepare the game with the same intention we had since day one to win the game, and we will see. Enzo Maresca, Champions League prospects. We always said the same. We go game by game. Tonight was good to win, to continue the momentum. In 48 hours, we have another game that is very demanding. It's good for everyone, for the club. It's a win. And personally, it doesn't mean too much in terms of the season. Yeah, well, it was an important win today. I would very much say so. Very important win. On Estevao, Enzo Maresca said, with young players, most of the time you're a bit worried because most of the time they play 1 or 2 games and score and they think they're already top players. But we don't need to worry about that with him. He's very humble and polite and he has family close to him. Well, that is what I love to hear. And he's like, it seems so positive. You know, I'm not here to criticize Lamine Yamal, but some of the stuff that goes on with Lamine Yamal, you're like, really, man? Like, keep it under control for your career. Keep it under control. Why is Messi the GOAT? Why is Ronaldo the second GOAT? Because they didn't have crazy off the pitch stuff. They didn't do that. They kept the training. They kept it simple. They stuck to their families, and they just didn't have any drama. And that's actually a very good point. I already opened the next quote, and I'll get through a couple of your of more of your chat messages that I missed while I'm reading through the chat, the quotes as well. But Max says, I feel like he's referring to Noni here. Yeah, that's a valid point. That's a very, very valid point. More from Enzo Maresca on Estevao. I feel very lucky to be his manager. He's exciting and we can enjoy. The fans pay the tickets to see players like Cole and Estevao, these types of players. It's nice to have these types of players. I work with them, young players, every day. I know what they can do. We are going to have moments where we struggle a little bit more, for sure. But the good thing about them is that they want to improve. I think it's good. Well, I think it's good too. But I also think it's good that we're not, getting over the top of it. Ajax manager John Heitinga. I've never seen a bag of money score, but I think Chelsea have spent a lot of money in recent years. Trevor Hunter was one of our best players at Ajax. He's bought by Chelsea. He's sitting here on the bench. He hardly plays. Yeah, stop crying, mate. Stop crying. Oh, this was before the game. Okay, 6 hours ago. Well, there you go. Fair enough. But yeah, let me get through a couple of more of your comments then in what you said in response to the quotes. Here we are. How about their striker literally pulling Lavia's hair and bear hug him? Yeah, literally. Well, I'm not sure if he pulled his hair. Or is that what you saw? I thought he just kind of grabbed him around the back of the head. Maybe grabbed his hair. It would explain why a lot of the players lost their minds so much if he grabbed his hair. I hope Premier League referees saw the referee for today's game. Or were you that impressed? I thought he whistled a few things that are like, come on, man, just let it go. Maresca says, one game at a time, and I tend to agree with him. Absolutely. Game by game is good. No more, we are not ready bullshit. Absolutely. It's also true, but also he's still being realistic and saying we will have more difficult moments, and we definitely will. Estevao is a saint. Absolutely. For me personally, nothing could have topped you scoring. Yeah, actually. I actually can't completely agree because Messi and Ronaldo got married early. Getting married early is key. Lol. Ooh, I'm not quite sure if I agree with that, but I get where you're coming from. It just depends on a lot of people's characters, right? I guess if you marry early, have kids early, it's easier to settle down at a younger age, I guess, when you have a lot of money, when you have a lot of fame. Maybe hear it. Tosin got lucky today. He luckily dodged a red card. What about a red card? What did you do that could have got him a second yellow? Please remind me. A bag of money put 5 past them. Absolutely. Well, except Marc Guiu cost only 5 million. Well, Caicedo cost quite a lot, but there you go. Tyrique George was free. Do you know what I mean? He grabbed his hair for half a second. Enzo disagrees. Enzo did disagree. Not for Enzo. He's better single. Yeah, well, no, I'm pretty sure he's back together with his missus. I'm pretty sure they're back together. Actually, for a hot minute. I thought the referee had it easy on Ajax players today. Could have been 2 reds or more pens easily. Yeah, exactly that. You will be match reacting Sunderland? Of course I will, Max. Of course I will. When do I ever miss games? To be fair, I think I missed one a few weeks ago when I was ill. But otherwise, when do I miss games? Like, I might not do so much pre-game content and midweek content anymore just because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like the viewership just isn't quite there and I'm not, can't be bothered to sit there by myself. But for the after games, I will always be here. I've thought about going to watch-alongs, so it's not like in the after hours, like being nearly midnight now. But too many other people do watch-alongs that are much bigger than me. It's not going to work. But yeah, I just did one. Well, how funny. I didn't even see your message on that. I did one watch-along. One. And it was Thomas Tuchel's first game at Chelsea. And it was the most boring 0-0 ever in history. And that kind of really put me off doing watch-alongs. Maybe I need to try and get back into it. But it's a thing. Obviously, my girlfriend is a Chelsea fan as well. So I watch pretty much every game with her. So it's like if I would do watch-alongs instead, she sat watching the game by myself and I'm watching the game by myself. So yeah, maybe some of you are going to say, no, do the watch-along with your girlfriend. But you get it? It's just, yeah, maybe I should do. Yeah, but who? Like just randomers? Because I don't think that many people that are usually, hang out with, I guess, online want to. But yeah, with several people together. Yeah, it's true, but it's difficult to find people available. Like when you do it like Lewis and you've kind of have your almost like team together. Like you're kind of almost a cast that you can always, like, you just send them the link and many of them will turn up. When you have that, it's easy and it's fine. But when every time you stream, you need to ask 3-4 people if they're free. If they're not, you need to ask more people. Sometimes people bail out when you last second. Then you need to ask new people. That's what makes it a little bit of an issue. But there you go. I didn't know you were from Spain, Max. That's interesting information. Well, sleep well, mate. Appreciate you tuning in. It's nearly 12 here as well, to be fair, but I'm off of work this week, so it's easy for me. But yeah, big up yourself, Max. Like Max says, smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Maybe we'll get back into doing a watch along, to be honest. I mean, JC, big ups yourself. 3:21 a.m. Go to sleep, mate. I appreciate you tuning in, but go to sleep. Get your sleep. Unless you're off in the morning, then obviously who cares? Tosin, a boot kick. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Of course, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when I looked at it, I was like, "Ooh, he might have meant that," but you can never prove that. So you can't really give him a second booking for it. But yeah, it's true what you mentioned. I hope Enzo's woman could have waited for him to get his Madrid move and then get back together. But all right, yeah, no. But it's not even like they weren't even split apart for very long. I think they got together quite like already last season. So like it's not too recent of a thing. To be honest, guys, like we're only 41 minutes in of this stream, but I don't really know what else we can talk about. I do know now. We need to look at our Champions League fixtures and our Champions League table. I would love if I could only look at only Champions League fixtures. That would be nice. But I don't know how. Okay, so I need to find the Champions League. I'll just share the FOTMOB screen with you guys, and then we'll just look for it together. So let's go Champions League. Let's look at the table for now. The table is as follows. PSG now top. Do some teams have 2 games still? No, everybody's on 3 games. PSG are top with 3 wins from 3, goal difference of +10. Bayern are joint with them, also goal difference of +10, just 1 goal scored less, but 1 goal conceded less as well. Inter have scored 9, conceded 0. Arsenal have scored 8, conceded 0. Fair enough, bloody hell. And Real Madrid as well scored 8, conceded 1. These guys are absolutely on it. Dortmund scoring 12 but conceding 7 is kind of wild. We're slowly creeping up. They're still only on 7 goals, which is not ideal, considering we scored 5 today. Still only on 7 goals. But there you go. City, obviously Dortmund and then City being the first 2 teams that have dropped points. Newcastle 1-2 as well. Newcastle and Barca. Who did Barca lose against? Oh, PSG. There you go. That's nice. I can just hover over it and it tells me what the game was. That's kind of crazy. It's not what I wanted. FOTMOB. It's not what I wanted. There you go. Barca, Liverpool dropping points with 1 loss as well. Same as us. I mean, we're very much in the conversation, aren't we? We're very much in the conversation. If we look at our... I would love to look at the... can I not look at just our games? That would be kind of useful. But it seems like I can't. So we'll just have to go through it like this. Next Champions League game, Karabakh away. Won't be easy. Travel, big travel day. Obviously, international break just after that as well. So, just before that as well. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Should be a dub, but Karabakh aren't that bad. Like, they beat Benfica away. They got an early goal today away at Athletic Bilbao. So, not to be underestimated. On the 25th of November, so pretty much a month from today. Well, a little bit more, but you get the point. We play Barcelona, absolutely ginormous game. So, Karabakh, we have to win. So, that's another 3 points. It will put us to 10. Barca. I think we can win, but you can't be sure. So, I'm going to still say a draw. So that would put us on... we're on 6 points. So that would put us on 9. Now we'll be on 10 if we draw against Barca. After Barca, obviously, then we've got the Christmas period. We've got Atalanta away first. Now, Atalanta. Let's see how Atalanta are doing. How are Atalanta doing? They are currently 8th in La Liga, in Serie A. Only 2 wins this season. Haven't lost yet, but 5 draws. So I'm not particularly concerned. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not particularly concerned. Draws 0-0, 0-0, 1-1. Yeah, I mean, beat Bruges, okay, 1-1 against Juve. Beat Torino, which is interesting. 4-0 against PSG. Are we as good as PSG? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, to be honest, Atalanta now having lost Gasperini, not the same force that they were before that. So I'm actually quite confident about 3 points in that game as well, which will put us on 13. And then we've still got Paphos, which is a guarantee, should be a guarantee. Another 3 points in January. Should be 16. And then Napoli away. Honestly, we should really be winning that too. If that team loses 6-2 to PSV Eindhoven, we should be beating them as well. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different in terms of away or at home. But still, with all of that being said, if we get to 16 points before Napoli, you know what I mean? We should at least finish on 17 points. At least we should finish on 17 points, in my opinion. Or maybe I guess 18 potentially if we lose to Barcelona but win the other games. So I'm pretty confident that we'll make the top 8. If I'm being honest, I'm pretty confident. If we go back to last season, if I go to table here and I switch the season to last season, you can see the last team that made it through as in the top 8 is got 16 points. So I was wrong earlier. Earlier I said 15 points. It's 16 points you needed. So there you go. 5 wins essentially, 1 draw. That's what you need. We already have one of the 2 losses. You can't afford more than 2 losses. So yeah, maybe Barca at home, maybe Napoli away. One of them we can lose, but the other ones we pretty much should win, and then we'll make top 4. Like I say, 18 or 19 points is not unrealistic. So there you go. That would obviously be fun, and obviously to get at least the 24. We need 11 points. I'm very, very confident we'll get 11 points after the win today. We should be okay, I think. Let me just scroll down a little bit to this current table so we can actually look at it as I read through the last few of your comments. I refer to the referee and VAR team observation of the Ajax tackle that led to the red cards. I'm a little bit confused by what you're saying, because you're saying you're talking about something different, but this is not what led to the Ajax red card. So I'm a little bit confused. But how many points to get to top 8 do you think? Well, there you go. Last season you needed 16. So if you're thinking similar level again, that's how we need it. There you go. Oh my God, Inter, Arsenal 0-0 over 2 legs incoming. Literally. We need 16 points minimum for top 8. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Napoli's a concern. Yeah, but are they a concern? Are they a concern? 6-2 against PSV Eindhoven. I'm not sure if they're that much of a concern. They're so unpredictable, that's fair. One game they play like the best in their league, the next game they're shit. But I feel like they've been a bit shit for a few weeks now, as far as I know. But I'm not sure. Lars, do you think Champions League is easier in the current format? I think how do I best put this? I think a lot of it depends on the draw. And in the draw, the way it's nowadays, a lot of it depends on which teams do you get away from home, which teams do you get at home. And also in the past, like the way the Champions League group stage used to be with, groups of 4, you could get a really easy group. We rarely did, but you could, like your PSGs, your Man Cities, they so often got such easy groups. I don't think it's easier than those groups, but I think it's easier than you can have it. Maybe it's a little bit more balanced potentially, but I think it makes it more difficult for lesser teams. I think it gives them a smaller chance, not playing every team home and away. I think it gives them a smaller chance. There you go. The Barca tie feels like a 2-2 or 3-3 already. Could be. Absolutely could be. I'm just hoping we scrap it, like we nick it like 3-2 or something. We know very well how bad Conte is in the Champions League. Yes. Conte in his career, by the way, only has a 30% win rate in the Champions League. Think about that. And the clubs he's been at, obviously Spurs, but otherwise, Juve, Chelsea, now Napoli. Obviously, and Napoli only were in the Champions League last season because, no, they weren't even, because they were bad the season before, so they had no Europe. That's why they won the league, innit? So, yeah, Conte, I think he has 15 Champions League losses, 12 wins only, and the rest draws, like loads of draws. So that 12 is only 30% wins. Kind of crazy. If Sevilla can beat Barca 4-1 and should have been more, we should be able to crack Barca's high line. Absolutely. But the thing you always have to consider in a situation like this, Barca will turn up more against us than they do against Sevilla. They just do. It's a big occasion going to Stamford Bridge. They hate us as well. They've had many a bad night at the bridge as well. There you go. I forgot. I contacted their manager. A lot easy win then. There you go. There you go. Obviously, also with a washed Kevin De Bruyne, Højlund, obviously. Scott McTominay is my only concern for them. Obviously, by the time we play Napoli, Lukaku might be back fit. That might make them more of a concern. I'm sure Lukaku hates us enough to really badly want to score. So there you go. Make of that what... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Make of that what you will. But I think with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time I wrap it up. I don't know what else to talk about. So, hey, here we are. Let me see, actually. 1 second. Do we see any other quotes that have come out that are potentially worth talking about? Toastin and IG boast. No. Nothing there. Let me see if Pys said anything particularly interesting. But I think on that note, we can probably... we can probably wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I massively appreciate it. Tell your friends, if you enjoy these streams by myself or when I have guests on, tell your friends, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your nan. Get everyone involved. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you guys that I have tuned in. I appreciate you guys even more so that are active in the chat. So thank you guys very, very much. Have a great night. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And I will see you next time.